with the opening of two teams, Arsenal and Birmingham City.
Welcome back to St Andrews, where we are one half of football away from what would be undoubtedly the shock of the English domestic women's top flight so far this season, and one of the great across the decade of the WSL's history. Birmingham City trying to complete it. They are 2-0 up at the break. Libby Smith scoring in just the 3rd minute. Beatrice Sari making it 2-0 in the 42nd, and it is the former Arsenal player Louise Quinn in there, handing out the instructions in the huddle. Quinn, once upon a time a key part of the Arsenal side that won the WSL in the 2018-19 season, now trying to do a serious bit of damage to her former club's title hopes. Alan Carter, the interim head coach, on the touchline, eagerly hoping his side can complete the shot. So off and underway for the second half then. Birmingham City and blue and white attacking from left to right as we look at things in this second period. Arsenal in their all yellow change kit, shooting from right to left. Is a scoreline nobody could have reasonably predicted, but there's plenty of time for it to change. Arsenal, of course, unbeaten in their last 18 WSL games since a 3-0 loss at Chelsea on the 10th of February 2021. They've won 16 games, only just 2 in that time. A 0-0 draw to finish last season on the 9th of May at home against Aston Villa. A 1-1 draw earlier this season in November when Vivian Miedemar's late goal rescued the Gunners a point. Meads cross. Overhit and wide. Arsenal, of course, when they lost that game to Chelsea in February 2021, looked like they might well not qualify for the Champions League spots, but they turned that around very nicely indeed with a great run of form to finish that season off. 8 consecutive wins before that draw with Villa, and that was what helped them to finish in 3rd ahead of Manchester United, which was crucial in securing Champions League qualification. 1 point ahead of what was then Casey Stoney's Red Devils. Good run from Sari. He's got a bit of a knack at doing this, the Greek midfielder. Getting those pockets between attack and defence, but that was well snuffed out. Now McCabe. Well stopped. That is a brilliant tackle by Libby Smith, who gets a little touch on. Pennock's in there chasing against McCabe. McCabe appealing for a foul and eventually gets the decision in her favour, to the frustration of Jade Pennock. Temper's fraying a bit out there as well. Was McCabe in there against Pennock? Pennock seemed to get a fair bit of McCabe after the ball had gone. Pennock, who's scored once in the WSL this season for Birmingham City, who generally have struggled for goals, it must be said. Thought of shooting there, Sari, but ended up overrunning it. Now here come Arsenal. Nobbs. That's a great first-time ball out to release Mead. Nobbs is following the pass on the 1-2. Marshalled through by Louise Quinn. Jordan Nobbs just showing her quality there with the initial pass for Mead. A former teammate, Louise Quinn, manages to snuff out the danger. Of course, it's big 2022 for Arsenal, not just in the league by any means. Conti Cup quarter-finals coming up on the 19th of January, where they host Manchester United, and then in the Women's Champions League, they've reached the quarter-finals yet again. Here they come. Decent ball in, only half away. Iwabuchi straight into the chest of Louise Quinn. Now Pennock on the break. Gives it away, but it's fallen kindly off an Arsenal foot for Lucy Quinn. Here goes Quinn. Stopped brilliantly by Beattie. What a good tackle that is. It's a proper centre-half's challenge. You shall not pass sort of stuff. Pennock. Finn. This cross led to the second goal. Slides it in behind for Pennock. Pennock wins Birmingham City's first corner of this second half. Getting it off Jordan Nobbs. Five minutes into the second half, Birmingham City have a chance to go 3-0 up. Lucy Quinn was looking like she was going to go short with Christy Murray. Now does put it in. Arsenal get it half away. It's Holloway. Holloway's cross is a good one. And the Arsenal scramble defence is just about good enough, but come back here because there was an injury in that passage of play picked up. And that is certainly not what Arsenal need. Holloway's teasing ball back in, and it's Jen Beattie who's gone down. Now, for all the injuries for Arsenal to get, when they only had 5 on the bench at the start of this match, and one of those was Leah Valti, who was taken out of the starting lineup as a precaution. To have a defender go down injured really would be a bit of a nightmare for the Gunners, because they are, quite say, lacking in that department, but it's a concern for Jonas Eideval. I know that some Arsenal fans were a touch surprised that Anna Patton has joined Aston Villa on loan for the rest of the season, despite the 22-year-old playing 11 matches for the Gunners this season. But I know the thinking behind it was to give Patton regular game time, match minutes, which she'll get at Aston Villa, and so it's understood that she'll get them as a centre-half, which is longer term, although she can also play right back, where Arsenal see her at her most effective. Didn't get to make her debut for Villa on Saturday because that match against Everton was called off, one of 3 not going ahead this weekend due to coronavirus issues in one squad or another. Thankfully for Arsenal, BT for now seems okay to continue. Foul on Sorensen. Holloway to send it forward on her left potentially, or could be the right foot of Harriet Scott. Scott, decent flick on, but no one quite running into that this area for Birmingham City, in behind the defence. Cabe trying to get a way out of the high press, can't do so. Gives it straight to Finn. Smith can bring it under control, but now Smith leads the press on Zinsberger. Zinsberger away from Maritz. Ball back. Oh, that's a terrible back pass. And Miedemar's managed to get in ahead of Ramsey. Still Miedemar. Miedemar squares it, and somehow Birmingham City have survived. I don't know how Arsenal haven't scored there. Kind of sums up the day they're having. Great work from Miedemar to capitalise on the poor ball back. And the brave Birmingham City defence do enough. Sarri running forward from midfield, still going. Sarri has options. Sarri might go it alone here. Saved by Zinsberger. Chance. And Lucy Quinn denied. They're offering a real threat here going forward, Birmingham City. And Sarri has another strike. Now Murray. And Zinsberger saves. Oh, we're seeing again that under Darren Carter, Birmingham City are going to fear nobody. Certainly not going to be accused of overly respecting their opponents. This was up the other end. Awful back pass. Miedemar gets there. Then it's really well to pick out Little on the pullback. Really important block on the line. Finn has options. Pennock deflected, and Zinsberger gathers. Well, right now, Birmingham City look just as likely to score a third, if not maybe even more likely than Arsenal do to get on the score sheet. What an extraordinary game of football we're seeing here. Just picked up a little knock there, Lucy Quinn. Neither side making a change yet, and one concern for Arsenal is they don't necessarily have attacking options of note on the bench to come on. In fact, it's quite a thin bench overall. Maxi Wubben-Moy, the defender, Franz Stenson, the keeper, Victoria Schneiderbeck, and then Taya Goldie, another defender. Miedemar trying to make something happen. And referee Lucy May says that there was a shirt pull in there from Gemma Lawley. Just signalling that Lawley was wrestling Miedemar a touch too much for referee May's liking. For Arsenal to get one back, which would totally change the dynamic here at St Andrews. Be a cross or a shot. McCabe did try and hit one. Now lofts it free for Miedemar. Miedemar twisting and turning. Well marshalled there, and out it goes for a goal kick. That would feel like another mini moment of victory, a grimace of frustration for Vivianne Miedemar. Miedemar, who at the start of this season said that she considered Chelsea to have the strongest squad in Europe, but the Jonas Eidevall, Arsenal have an excellent job of being above them in the running for the title. Chelsea suffering a couple of defeats that's left them 4 points behind Arsenal coming into 2022. And those defeats, of course, inflicted by the Gunners in that highly entertaining game at the Emirates. Foul on Lucy Quinn. Clip forward towards Pennock, didn't find her. Birmingham recycle. Didn't look like Mead had kept it in, and eventually it was decided that she hadn't. Difficult to overstate quite what a shock win this would be for Birmingham City. It's a head-to-head that generally Arsenal have dominated. They've won 13 times against Birmingham City in the WSL. They've only ever managed all WSL wins against two clubs from Merseyside, Everton and Liverpool, winning 14 times against both of them. Arsenal won 4-0 St George's Park last season. Caitlin Ford scoring twice, and Lisa Evans and Vivian Miedemar also on target. Arsenal won the reverse fixture 3-0 at Meadow Park in December. That's a foul from Iwabuchi. Arsenal trying to play it short from the back, and from Zinsberger wasn't quite in the right place. It put Iwabuchi in an awkward position. Foul on Jamie Finn. Iwabuchi will go in the book for that. Some visiting fans not overly happy, but speaking of somebody strictly neutral in the commentary box, it seemed fair enough. Yellow card. She knew that once Penny got the ball in that dangerous an area that needed to find a way to stop her bearing down on goal. Wouldn't seem like the easiest angle to shoot from. Seem more likely this is going to be put into the box. Could be Sari on her left foot. Will be Sari on her left foot, straight into the wall. Lucy Quinn hooks it forward. Sari. Cross from Finn. Heavy touch from Iwabuchi. Now the shot, but Zinsberger saves to deny Libby Smith. The angle was somewhat against Smith, it had to be said. Arsenal, of course, as I've alluded to, with plenty going on in Europe as well. They'll face Wolfsburg in the Champions League quarter-finals. Home leg on March 22nd or 23rd. The away leg, second leg on the 30th or 31st. Zinsberger gathers that cross easily enough. That draw done in Nyon on Monday. We'll face the winners of Real Madrid versus Barcelona in the El Clasico Women's Champions League quarter-final. The other two ties featuring Bayern Munich against Paris Saint-Germain and Juventus versus the so often all-conquering Lyon. Barcelona, of course, the defending champions after winning against Chelsea in the final last season, but Arsenal, the sole representatives left in the Women's Champions League this season from an English point of view.
Substitute for Arsenal. Replacing number 20, Simone Boyd. Number 3, Washington Moore.
Change for the Gunners. Simone Boyd Sorensen comes off and Lottie Woburn-Moy comes on. The defender making 15th appearance of the season. 22-year-old across all competitions. and 9th in the WSL. As I alluded to earlier, in terms of forward-thinking threats on the bench, Arsenal don't really have that up their sleeve. It's going to be more about looking to the extensive quality that they have on the pitch in the likes of Little, Nobbs, Iwabuchi, Mead and Miedemar, McCabe, to create something. Stabbed forward, but they're just trying to get the ball away. Anywhere will do stuff for Birmingham City. Decent cross on the run, cleverly flicked away. Clever ball looking for Pennant, but that's too much on it. BT can cut it out. Marnham. McCabe. Nobbs. McCabe again. On by Marnham. Miedemar. So dangerous, Vivian Miedemar. Nobbs. It's cleverly done. McCabe's ball in, and that's a really important intervention at the near post from Louise Quinn. First time cross from Mead. Made by Quinn. Stabbed forward by Pennant. Of course, worth saying as well that this game today isn't the only time that you can catch Arsenal women on your TV in one form or another. We'll come back to that. Here's Miedemar. Miedemar! Ramsey saves. So dangerous in situations like this, Miedemar. Everyone's seen this story plenty of times, and more often than not, it seems to end up with the ball in the back of the net. Louise Quinn, who of course will have played against Miedemar as former teammates in training plenty of times, managed to do just enough to keep her quiet. Coming back to what I mentioned, Leah Williamson, the Arsenal and England women's defender, who's currently out injured, doing the men's FA Cup 4th round draw at 10:05 English time. That's coming up in just an hour and a half or so after the Leeds versus West Ham men's match. She'll be on doing that draw with former England international men's goalkeeper David James. And of course on the comeback trail, and can't come back a moment too soon for Arsenal, who do have a few out at the moment. Williamson's hamstring problem, Tobin Heath out with a calf injury, both expected to be back and playing before the mid-February international break, it's understood. There are some players out with coronavirus as well, but Ms. Eideval understandably didn't want to publicly name them. Ramsey just calling for her defence to come a bit shorter, offer a passing option. Lawley. It's cleverly done by Finn. He was just trying to make a bit of room. Pennock's got room to shoot, but instead sets it wide. On the line from Holloway. Lucy Quinn will be trying to win a corner. It's picked up a bit of a knock. It's got what she wanted in terms of winning the corner. She seems to have hurt her right ankle in the process. No club needs injuries, but certainly Birmingham City and Darren Harty, their interim head coach, will want them even less than anybody else. They've got the smallest squad in the league still. Of course, it's been a busy time of things for Birmingham City on and off the pitch. Not necessarily always for positive reasons, but moving towards a big shot here. Decent ball in. Oh, Zinsberger's dropped it. And Arsenal somehow get it clear. Horrible moment for Manuela Zinsberger. He gets very lucky. Zinsberger just ends up punching it down in front of her. She actually gets in a tangle with her own defender, Lottie Wubben-Moy. There wasn't a Birmingham City player anywhere near them, really. The ball forward from Niedermar. Niedermar goes down. Niedermar is furious with referee Lucy May, who is not remotely interested. So Niedermar up against Scott. Well, there is a bit of contact, but it seems to start and end outside the box. And Niedermar runs on 4 or 5 yards and then falls over. Frustration for Vivianne Miedemar and Arsenal. It's been that kind of an afternoon so far. Arsenal desperately needs something from a star striker. Miedemar, of course, who's won back-to-back golden boots. The all-time Arsenal record is not a million miles off from being a goal a game. Now McCabe penalised. Foul throw. Seideval looking equally as frustrated as his players right now. Not the start to 2022 Arsenal would have wanted. Remember, of course, 2021 didn't end so well. They did beat Leicester City 4-0 on the 12th of December to close out the year 4 points clear of Chelsea at the top of the WSL, but they lost 3-0 to Chelsea in the Women's FA Cup final. Lost 4-0 to Barcelona and 4-1 to Hoffenheim in the Champions League, meaning in the end they only squeaked through their group stage on goal difference. And really should have been a fair bit more comfortable than that. Foul by Marnham. Ramsey to send it forward. There's still plenty of time here. Arsenal, of course, a side with so much quality all across the pitch. It only takes 2 moments of brilliance and or 2 errors from Birmingham City. Gunners will have themselves a point. Quinn clears it away. Here's Quinn, who has led this Birmingham City defensive effort so well today. The centre of that back three with Scott and Lawley either side of her. Mead just runs out of room, Beth Mead. Mead, who broke the WSL record for assists and chance created in the 2018-19 season. Now being frustrated by Darren Carter's Birmingham City. Carter, who took the job at Birmingham after earlier this season he the first team coach of the West Bromwich Albion women's team in the Women's National League North. Took that role in September, but then joined the Blues when they came calling. Spent 12 months before that coaching the Solihull Moors women. He spent the final 4 years of his playing career at Solihull Moors on the men's side of things, of course. Carter with a long history Birmingham City. Goes way back, of course. Plenty of Blues fans will remember that it was his successful penalty against Rob Green that sent Birmingham City to the Premier League for the first time in the men's game, 2002. As Nobbs gets through, and Nobbs puts it wide. I think the challenge from Louise Quinn did just enough to put Jordan Nobbs off. It's a flying challenge from Louise Quinn. She didn't get the ball had already gone. Louise Quinn, a warrior at the base of that Birmingham City defence. Nobbs isn't happy that she didn't get a free kick right on the edge of the box, and looking at that replay, you can understand why. Of course, with the increasing coverage of the WSL, referees all the more under scrutiny, and the fact that the television rights have been sold for significant money for the first time in the WSL's 10-year history, in the region of £7 to £8 million per season for the TV deal that's split between the BBC and Sky. That income has allowed more investment in the refereeing side of things, involvement of the GMOL, Professional Game Match Officials Limited. Referees developed under the stewardship of Bibiana Steinhaus-Webb, the first female referee in the Bundesliga. Referees get their own coach, sports science, scientist, psychologist, all about helping raise their levels, and that is something that managers and players have repeatedly called for across recent years. It's Finn, now Pennock. Pennock's ball in, too close to Zinsberger. Little, fighting to keep it. Fouled by Sari. Arsenal rapidly running out of time here. They've created precious few clear-cut chances. To make things even worse, their experienced Scottish midfielder Kim Little is down with a knock, looks keen to play on. Wiedemann leaves it for Iwabuchi. Iwabuchi just trying to get through. Cut out by Scott. Might seem like it's all against Arsenal right now, but they've just got to keep believing that if they can get one back, it all looks so different. That would bring about a frisson of nerves in the Birmingham City camp. Birmingham City very nervous about the prospect of an Arsenal comeback. Well, Miedemar's going into the book here. She was very visibly unhappy with the decision when she went down and sprinting clear 10 minutes or so ago. Just wonder whether it's that descent that has led to the yellow card. First booking in the WSL for Miedemar this season. Iwabuchi. Worth saying in regard to card watch for Arsenal. So Iwabuchi's first booking of the season, so they're not really close to a suspension. Katie McCabe has 4, so she's the only Arsenal player walking something of a tightrope in that regard. She picks up one more yellow card, and that will be a one-match suspension for the Irish left-sided player who today has had to play left back. As far this season has more often been used a touch further forward. Drifting inside and is fouled by Scott. Almost into the last 10 minutes here. You can feel the nerves here at St Andrews. Fans know that the job is far from done. Chance to put the ball into the box. Towards that far post. A little touch from Miedemar. Takes it out. Birmingham City have survived again. Only beaten Arsenal once before in the WSL. A 3-0 win way back in April 2018. Arsenal with 5 consecutive wins in this head-to-head in the league, conceding just 1 goal in their last 5 games against Birmingham City before this one. Result that is such a surprise on so many levels. Birmingham City, remember, winless in 25 WSL matches before this one. So it's a 1-0 victory. Their second city rivals, Aston Villa, on the 14th of November 2020. 7 draws and 18 losses in the league since then. Only survived by 2 points last season in a campaign that saw players publicly rebel against the ownership due to concerns over poor facilities. Iwabuchi can't quite find Miedemar. Miedemar back there helping out defensively. Knocked away by Beattie. That's a foul from McCabe. Did mention that if Katie McCabe picks up a booking, that will be a suspension. Should be aware of that and hoping that referee May doesn't pull out the card, which looks like she's not going to. Again, though, it just gives Birmingham City a perfect chance to whittle the clock down. Arsenal fans not happy with what they see as a bit of time wasting. It's neatly done. They haven't gone into the box immediately. They've gone for Libby Smith, trying something a bit different. Smith heading for the corner. Doesn't really have anywhere to go. Arsenal win the throw. Libby Smith with her first WSL goal. Just the 3rd minute to get Birmingham City going. It's good closing down. And McCabe's not happy because Lisa Quinn kicked the ball away. Nobbs. A reverse pass, but no one in the yellow shirt is there. Birmingham City move ever closer towards the shock of the season. It's no over-exaggeration. I'm just about to briefly mention what's gone on elsewhere today, so if you'd rather not know what's happening in the other two matches that have survived the coronavirus chaos of the world at the moment, then meet your audio now. Of course, 3 matches cancelled, this one of 3 that are on. Manchester City scored 6 second-half goals to go above Brighton. And up the table into 5th, just behind Manchester United. 2 points behind them, and further 2 points behind Tottenham, who sit in 3rd. And in the other game, Reading is still 1-0 up against Leicester City, heading into the last 10 minutes. Tasha Dowie with that goal, so if Leicester lose, Birmingham City hold on to win here, they will be off the bottom. Little saying she was fouled, and referee Lucy May agrees. It's Scott with the foul. Good to see the rainbow laces used in quite a clever improvised way there by referee Lucy May. Dishing out a card for Harriet Scott. Scott's first yellow card in the WSL this season. Here's white. Just clearly stops Kim Little getting into the box. I have no complaints about that. I won't be too bothered about it if I can see this one out. Could go for goal here at the near post of Ramsey. Might look to shoot. Arsenal again appealing about pushing and shoving in the box. Meads ball in. Doesn't get there though. Not ideal. Arsenal rapidly running out of time now. Mead forward. McCabe. The ball around the corner from Nobbs doesn't quite work. Miedemar's in there. Instead, here come Birmingham. Lucy Quinn releases Pennock. The shirt's flooding back now. Jade Pennock is pretty isolated here. Doesn't have much around her. Well to keep it. McCabe. McCabe goes direct. Miedemar tries to get a flick on for Mead. Loses out to Holloway. Beth Mead is down. Birmingham City playing on. Not obliged to stop, and it doesn't look to be a head injury, so Lucy May doesn't have to either. Mead has got back to her feet, and here go Arsenal through Iwabuchi, who is fouled by Christy Murray. Kay takes it quickly. Iwabuchi. Just cleared away by Lucy Quinn. Birmingham City win this in their last 16 WSL matches against London opposition, losing 13 and drawing just 3 of those. Includes that forfeited fixture against Spurs. Last home win against a London team. Extraordinary statistic was way back in November 2018 against West Ham. This would be quite a way to break that drought. Indeed, their last WSL home win against anybody was back in October 2019 against Liverpool. Went on to be relegated that season. Last season it was their away form that kept them in the division, no doubt about that. Plenty of change since then, of course. They lost star goalkeeper Hannah Hampton and also lost Carla Ward to local rivals Aston Villa. One positive change over the summer, no doubt, was home games being moved to St Andrews. I'm a touch surprised we haven't seen No substitutions from either side, though Arsenal quite a thin bench today. Part of me thought Birmingham City might want some fresh legs on. Here's Mead. Tried to find Miedemar. That's a really good interception from Pennock, who's back there. Mead goes down with playing advantage. Arsenal win it back. Arsenal pressing extremely high now. To press high at the pitch anyway under Jonas Seidevaart. Second in the division for the most high turnovers that ended up in shots. Essentially summarised as winning the ball back in the opposition's half in dangerous areas. Done that 28 times. Chelsea have managed it 30 times. They've scored 5 goals from winning the ball back in dangerous territory in the opposition's half, which is more than anybody else in the division. Footnet from Pennock. Frantic finish here as Arsenal try and throw everything at this. Things do stay as they are now. Arsenal will still be 4 points clear at the top, but they will have played a game more than Chelsea. Well, I mentioned a lack of changes and fresh legs for Birmingham City. The goal scorer Libby Smith will come off. That's a hug from coach Marcus Bignot. Sarah Ewens comes on. Lucy Quinn picking up yellow card for that tackle. The advantage was played on. The challenge on Mead. And it's a result, if this is how it stays, that even the most wildly optimistic Birmingham City supporter, young or old, might have even not have thought that it was worth bothering wishing to Father Christmas that they'd get as a present to start off 2022, because they'd have thought it was so unbelievable. That is a word that can be overused, because it is, of course, literally believable because we're watching it happen, but you take my point. Arsenal on the brink of a first loss in 19 in the WSL. Birmingham City on the verge of a first win in 26 as Ramsey comes out and just about collects. This is the second goal just before half-time. Chiki Sari, the Greek midfielder, in the right place at the right time. Into the third of the 3 minutes added on. Sari's only previous WSL goal before that against City's arch rivals Aston Villa in a 1-1 draw. 28th of April. I think Birmingham City are only a minute or so away, albeit we have had a couple of delays in the stoppage time, so he might get added on. Finn in the corner. It's a touch from Sari. Before this game, they'd only been in the lead for 11 minutes in WSL matches this season, Birmingham City. Fewest of any team. It won't surprise you to know, given that they've lost all but one of their games, they've spent more minutes behind than anybody else. They are on the verge of being able to celebrate one of the all-time great WSL shot results. What a moment for Darren Carter and his coaching team. Assistant Tony Elliott, goalkeeping coach Daniel Mastrozek, and coach Marcus Bignot Scott Booth was sacked following the 5-0 loss against Chelsea on the 21st of November. They've done it. Astonishing. A first win in 26 WSL games for Birmingham City, and they do it against the league leaders Arsenal, who lose for the first time in the league since February last year. A first loss in 19 for the Gunners. Birmingham City off the bottom. Arsenal missed the chance to go 7 points clear of Chelsea at the top. They didn't win a single league game in 2021, Birmingham City, but they start the new year with a bang. What a result here at St Andrews. One that nobody could have predicted, and one that Birmingham City entirely deserve. They led in the 3rd minute thanks to Libby Smith's first WSL goal for the club. They had a second just before half-time when Beatrice Sari was in the right place at the right time to score her first goal of the season. And despite sporadic threats from the Gunners, in truth, Birmingham City were well worthy of their clean sheet. Even the staunchest of Arsenal supporters couldn't deny the better side on the day one. Bottom of beaten top here is one of the all-time great WSL shots. Birmingham City go above Leicester City and off the bottom of the table. Darren Carter's side have new hope in the new year. It is a 4th loss in 5 across all competitions for Arsenal. Concerns for Jonas Eideval's side, no doubt, who struggle to threaten going forward. It is a result that few who've watched this game will be forgetting anytime soon, and a scoreline few would be expecting me to be saying. It is finished here. Birmingham City 2, Arsenal 0. Let's take a look at the full-time highlights from a game that